is up, YouTube? Sean, the average angler, and we got a video for you today. It's not what I wanted. I went fishing yesterday only to find out my trolling motor needs repairs. Wouldn't turn. So I had to steer by hand, made it kind of tough, and yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, it was a short day. Got hot. And weekend boat traffic was annoying. God, those people will go by you on pad 20 feet away. Anyway, I have been working on something, call it testing, for the last, well, since January. So about 6 full months now, just about. And what that is I've been working on Shakey Head baits. And I've kind of narrowed it down to 3, really 2. There's a time for the third one, and 2 heads that I use. Okay, and I'll go over why I use these 2 heads. Now, first of all, my favorite head, although look, it depends. Okay, the Frenzy Nail is a stand-up head. With a phenomenal hook on it. Okay, it can be fished on bait casting gear or a spinning rod. You'll see that there's a stand-up head. Okay, line ties right here. Let's see, what can I stand it up on? Okay, there you see it. The other head that I really like is this owner. Now, there's a lot of shaky heads that are this type of shape. One of the things I like about it, look at the nose of it. Let's see if I can get it in frame here. This area kind of flattens out here. Not totally flat, it's kind of rounded, if you will. Let's see. Yeah, it's hard to see. Anyway, kind of when you're dragging it, it kind of lends itself to doing this. And the reason I like the owner head, come on, focus. There's a centering pin, which makes it much easier when you're rigging your bait. Now, that third worm that I was going to add, that I am adding, is the Zoom Finesse worm. The reason I'm adding these is because it was so productive for me this year. They're inexpensive. You get a lot of them. There's 22 a bag. And they have all the typical good Zoom colors, you know. All right, so see, that's screwed on. Oh, I didn't get that in the center very well. There we go. So I really like that owner. Now, I will also use this worm on the Frenzy Nail. If you want it standing up, use the Frenzy Nail. If you want it down a little lower like so, use the owner. That's really my method, okay? Now the other thing, the Frenzy Nail is phenomenal with Elastec. Okay, you see the barb there. Let me show you that one that's not on the deal. Nice barb there. Holds the bait really well, okay? And then if you want to take it off, rotate it. Actually, you don't have to, yes, you do have to rotate it. Pull down, and it'll slide right off. I'm not even in frame there. All right. There's a little nub on this worm. There we go. All right. Put it in, 1/2 inch or so. Push it up over there so that it goes up past the plastic. You'll see the barb there. And the nice thing about the Elastec is it's so soft. The hook penetrates really easy, okay? I'll fish those all the way down to 6-pound test. So, as you can tell by now, the FattyZ is one of my favorites. And the reason why, it's super buoyant. They have great colors. This one's Bruiser, which looks to me like June bug on one side. Can't see it in the camera, I don't think. June bug on one side, green pumpkin on the other. They float real well. So in the water, you don't need to do a whole lot to them because it's standing up and water has natural current and it's going to move around by itself. On a windy day, it might move around more, boat activity. All these things kind of cause movement in the water. Now, the deeper you go, the further away from that movement you might get. But because this is so buoyant, when you slide it or pull it along the bottom, it's going to get some movement. So I really like that FattyZ, FattyZ, whatever it is. I call it FattyZ, even though it's not 2 words on here. They come in great colors, right? Green pumpkin orange, watermelon red, Bruiser, as I just mentioned. They have PB&J, green pumpkin. They have green pumpkin blue. And there's probably plenty of others. Canada Craw. God, there's just so many. Now, not as many as the next one, and not as many as Zoom. Zoom's got a ton of colors, right? The next worm I have rigged here on the nail also. This thing's phenomenal. Comes in 2 different sizes, and I don't know, man. These have been around a long, long time, but I started experimenting with them this year, and look at this freaking color. I'm hoping it shows up better when I go to look at this. Let's see, what was that one called? Oh, Bloody Mary. And you'll see this pack is old. So the worm is the Reaction Innovations Flirt worm. And it comes in 2 different sizes, 6.95, 4.95. As you see here, okay, so it covers both ends of the spectrum. Okay, you got a bigger worm here. You can see how much that thing's moving around. And you got the shorter one here. Now, I also did a test in water in a bowl and did a video a while ago. And it kind of demonstrated how much that tail is moving in the water without you really having to do anything. And, you know, this Reaction Innovations Payback looks like the same exact color as Bruiser, or damn close to it anyway. Again, in these packs you get quite a few worms. Let me see if it says here. It doesn't. It does not say. Oh, 15 of them. That's a good deal, right? 15 worms. Let's see if the same thing on the 4.95. They come in a ton of colors. They do everything you need. Look, I've got all this stuff up here you can see on the wall, right? Over here, I've got some sitting behind you, and I have cabinets full of stuff. The problem is I have so much stuff, quite honestly. I'm going to do some giveaways because I just don't use it all. I'm trying to narrow down so that I can build more confidence with the things that I do use. Okay, I think it's super important to be confident in the baits you're using. And yesterday, on a very tough day, when I was having a hard time getting bit at all, I went down to that 4.95 inch on a shaky head, and it was instant. Okay, they weren't big. That probably had more to do with it. It was 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a 100+ degree day, and the boat activity was going, and I wanted to go out and scope, but the trolling motor wouldn't steer. It would work on spot lock. I think my pedal board is bad, so I ordered a new one, and I'll fix that next week. But anyway, both heads you can fish up to probably 14-15 pound test. Okay, the hooks are stout, they're super sharp. You can also fish them with 6 pound test. Again, I don't need to carry but 2 different styles of heads that way, right? My owner, my frenzy nail. The owner, not a good idea with last tech, but it's fantastic for the Zman finesse worm, and it's fantastic for the Jesus Christ, for the flirt worm. My wife and I just went out to lunch. I guess I scarfed too much. I'm kind of, my mind's in a fog, like it wants to take a nap. That's what happens when you get old. Anyway, lots of great colors, as most of you probably know from Reaction Innovations, Pride Shad. They got shad patterns. There's Juicy, which is like a watermelon candy. More Juicy, more Juicy. Watermelon red. Green pumpkin red. Bloody Mary, as I showed you earlier. More Juicy. Watermelon green pumpkin. And then we have Payback, which was the same color as that. And that's just what I pulled out real quick, folks. They have tons and tons of colors. Realistically, you could probably, you know, I don't like to be too narrow and go just one brand. There was a time this year where I was going through bag after bag of these because they were these Zooms, because they were eating them so well. And honestly, I didn't throw the Flirt that day, so I couldn't, or those days, because I didn't need to. They were eating that one really well. And then the FattyZ is just a great worm when I feel like I'm around bigger fish. Okay, Clear Lake, they love these things. They love all those worms, but the FattyZ with its wideness and stuff, I just like it. So hopefully this will help you narrow down the need for things to carry. That Zman worm, the Reaction Innovations, can also be drop shotted. I'm still kind of a robo drop shot guy, among some other things, but these are really good for the drop shot too. The Reaction Innovations Flirt worm is kind of keeled. You put the round side down, right? And you'll see here, this one I put the round side down. This one I put the round side up. So on a shaky head, you can do it either way. All right? Check them out. Thanks for watching. Sean the Average Angler. We'll see you on the next one.